Hello Statesman Nation, I'm Wade Steinloggy and this is In the Locker Room presented by Malcolm Lumber. On this week's show we will recap last week's games, including history being made by both the women's basketball and softball teams. We will also preview next week's games highlighted by the track and field teams going to nationals. Additionally, we will have some special guests in the studio, all that and much more. You're in the locker room. On opposite ends of the hard standings faced off in Cedar Rapids as the William Penn basketball teams went to Mount Mercy. The league title was up for grabs, with the Statesmen needing to not overlook the Mustangs. The women starting off the doubleheader up in Cedar Rapids. William Penn, again, right there in position to take the Hart crown. Didn't have to overlook the Mustangs, and they didn't early on. William Penn is determined as ever. Shemaya Oliver with the bucket. And now Kate Ilotello hits the three. William Penn struggled early, but blew it open in the second quarter, 24-6 in that second quarter, 35-14 after two. And now Brenda Pennington getting into the action. She knocked down the long bucket, and William Penn rolls in this one, 83-41 to gain its first share of a league title since 1988. 11 different players scored in the win, with Ilotello leading away 23 points, Pennington with 16, and Jenny Hugans getting 8 points as well off the bench. Men's basketball team also taking on the Mustangs up in Cedar Rapids. William Penn used a huge second half to beat Mount Mercy at home back in January, looking for the season sweep on the road. Marlon Alcindor getting things started early on, hitting this three-pointer. He tied Darius Wheeler with the team lead with 20 points, 1 of 10 assists for Adrian Edwards. Another one right here as they hook up and tie the game at 22 apiece. William Penn trailed for the rest of the way, unfortunately. Wheeler trying to get William Penn close, makes a three-pointer there, but William Penn just could not keep pace with the hot Mustangs, and they fell 92-84 in the end. William Penn still trying to figure itself out a little bit on the men's side. The women now having a share of the conference title after beating Mount Mercy, wanted to get it outright, obviously, and what better way to do that than on senior day. The senior class was recognized before the game, and they went right to work on the hardwood against Benedictine. Benedictine receiving votes nationally, but the flu bug hit the team hard, and they were actually down to only 7 players against WPU, including a manager. William Penn did not have any mercy on the Ravens. Rolling on this one, Vashi Wabarocha with a bucket. Now Jenny Hugans going back door, and she scores. William Penn's lead was 25 at the break in the second half. Everybody getting into it, including Cassidy Turner with this three-pointer. And now Sham Troop, also she made her senior day memorable, knocking down a rare three-pointer for her. William Penn getting the Hart banner, winners of 10 in a row. The Statesmen collect the win, 88-45, and they get the automatic berth to nationals. William Penn will be the #1 seed, and we'll find out its opponent for Wednesday's quarterfinals in the upcoming days here. Ilotello with 22 points, Wabarocha with 13, Pennington with 10 as well. On the men's side, Benedictine men have already secured the league title. They came in with 24 wins in a row, but they're possibly looking to be the overall #1 seed for nationals. William Penn needing to play much better than it did against Mount Mercy, trailing early, but Omar Sherman getting the left-handed dunk there, pulling William Penn to within 2. Adrian Edwards took over in the second half. Huge second half, makes a three-pointer there, pulling William Penn to within a couple. And now he gives the Statesmen the lead on this three-pointer. At 21 second half points did Edwards. Gets another drive and the bucket. William Penn takes the lead in the final minutes. Unfortunately couldn't keep pace with Benedictine. Darius Wheeler gets them within 1, but the last minute did not go William Penn's way, and your Statesmen fall 82-78 to #2 Benedictine. Edwards with 21 points, Mario Manuel with 14, Shamar Bailey Decoteau with 13 as well. The softball team, after not playing for a couple weeks, got back onto the diamond in Batesville, Arkansas, and took on a pair of opponents, beating St. Mary 6-1, and then also beating Lyon, a team receiving votes 3-1. Those victories helped William Penn to eclipse 1,000 wins all time in program history. So big history there for softball as they continue playing here in the early weeks of the season. When we return, we will have a special guest in the studio as head coach Luke Bentley of the men's volleyball team will be with us. You're in the locker room.
William Penn University provided the opportunities for me to widen my potential after graduation. I loved being involved with the women's golf team and was able to focus my last few years on internships at the YMCA. With all the opportunities at Penn, I hope to one day be working in a stadium for a pro team or doing the business side of sports, which I love. The opportunities are real, your potential is unlimited. Discover your place at William Penn University.
You built a castle so that the prince and princess can live happily ever after. You brought the sunshine to shine upon the whole family's future. But when the sun hides behind the clouds, State Farm can help. We put the life back in life insurance to protect your family's finances, not only in the future, but today.
Call your State Farm agent Kelly Style in Oskaloosa today.
What if there was a program
where I could express my individuality,
create my visions, get the hands-on learning that I need,
a program where I could become something greater,
become something bigger?
Hello everyone, this is Tyler Van Welden from Malcolm Lumber in Grinnell, Montezuma, and Oskaloosa. Malcolm Lumber is your DIY headquarters and we would love to help you with any projects you want to tackle. Bring us your plans, let our staff help you. We will get you the right materials, the correct tools, and the support you need to make that project come out perfect. And now we have a full-time designer for that new kitchen and bath. Stop in and say hello at any of our 3 store locations or call to make an appointment.
Welcome back, Statesman Nation. And right now we are having Luke Bentley, the men's volleyball coach, is coming into the studio here to talk with us for a little bit. He's got about a year of experience under his belt here, and we're going to just find out what's been going on in the men's volleyball scene. So, Coach, appreciate you coming in. I'm going to let you talk for a while because obviously I'm bumbling. So, like I said, just about a year under your belt. It's been a lot of recruiting, a lot of planning for the first season of William Penn men's volleyball. So, kind of run us through what it's been looking like in the men's volleyball scene.
Yeah, like you said, recruiting's been a big part of it. It's been a really unique year because we're not competing at all this year. So not something I've normally experienced, but we've had a good year with recruiting, where we're at right now, and I know we'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, most of the summer was spent recruiting into the fall. The last 2 or 3 months have been pretty heavy with recruiting as well. It's been a lot of just traveling on the road and making those connections and kind of laying that foundation for our program. And then we've been lucky enough to get some commitments here, more so the second semester. And we're in a really good spot right now with where we feel our class is going to be. But yeah, it's been a lot of that on the road, and we've done a good amount of traveling, and like I said, seeing a lot of guys. So yeah, that's been the most or the biggest part, I should say. And then on top of that, just being immersed in William Penn the last 8 or 9 months, and being able to be on campus and do all that stuff as well. So
definitely. You've got plenty of experience within the conference, being at former Hart schools with Central Methodist as well as Clark. Without, I guess, giving too much credit to any schools or William Penn for that matter, what's the biggest difference between William Penn to those schools?
Yeah, everyone's different, obviously, but at the same time, volleyball is volleyball, colleges are colleges, and so the big thing and the big reason that I was excited about coming to William Penn and lucky enough to get the opportunity to be here is just the people, and a lot of people say that, but the feeling I had when I was on campus for my interview, which is we're coming up on a year on, and just the day-to-day interactions that we have with our students and the people that work in our athletic department and the university, it's definitely a special place as far as that stuff goes. goes. And with our athletic department, the vision that we have going forward and everything that we've been doing the last couple of years, it makes me excited about what we can do for a men's volleyball program. The whole pack situation that we have for our new home court is going to be unbelievable. And so, at the same time, like similar, obviously all the Hart schools are similar, but really I feel like we're going to set ourselves apart as far as athletically and just what we offer with the student experience. So, that's really the big difference for me, and that's what made me excited about coming here.
Definitely. Getting right into that recruiting side of things, I mean, like you said, you've been all over the place. What areas in particular were you looking at? Like, I know you come from Chicago, so that was an area that you felt confident you could pull some individuals, but where else were you like, that feels like a hotbed of men's volleyball. We're going to jump after that and see if we can steal some kids out of there.
Yeah, kind of had a unique philosophy coming in because we're in a kind of different scenario. We're not being around boys volleyball. There's no youth boys volleyball in Iowa, so we kind of had to get a little creative with what we wanted to do. And one of our processes or our thoughts was, let's go to areas that offer boys volleyball that don't have universities close to it. So these boys, these young men have to go somewhere, and hopefully it'd be William Penn. So Texas and Florida are kind of the big ones that we've been targeting. We've had some really good luck in Texas, I should say, so far, and then even a little bit in Florida. So that's kind of been the two big ones, I'd say, if there's any sort of pattern that we've been looking at. But really, it's been all over the place, and that's the one nice thing about William Penn is that we're, we offer that diversity, and we'll have the same in our men's volleyball program. But yeah, I'd say if we had to have any sort of pattern, to be Texas or Florida, which would be kind of nice. And I know we have students from those areas already. But yeah, I think we'll see a trend in those states moving forward. Yeah,
definitely. You talked about the biggest hurdle there probably in recruiting wise of not having anybody really here to recruit. I mean, you're always having to hit the road, but what other hurdles have you ran into that's like, okay, this has been a little more challenging than I thought it was going to be?
Yeah, and this one goes without saying, we're just being the new program. Not having anything prior to this year, and then just the name, So a lot of what we've done in recruiting is just trying to get our name out there, and just letting people know what William Penn is all about and where we are, and just the fact that we're offering men's volleyball now. So those things have been really important. So that's probably been the biggest hurdle. On top of that, just trying to get to as many places as possible. It's really hard. I've been by myself this whole year, and so just trying to be in more than one place at once kind of thing, and being able to reach as many student athletes as possible has probably been the other hurdle. But yeah, really just being the first year program, trying to get out and do as much as we can.
Let's talk about the first year of men's volleyball, what it will look like. Obviously, none of us know what, and the expectations are different depending on who you ask, but what are your expectations going into this first year?
Yeah, different when we talked this summer, I think at the fair, when you're talking about expectations, because we hadn't had any players or an idea of who we were going to get yet. So now that we have a good amount of our guys coming in that we know will be here in the fall, they're a little different than what maybe I was thinking. They're pretty high for us still. Not going to put really a number on it or as far as that goes, but we expect to compete next year. We expect to compete in the conference and expect to compete at the national level. Not exactly sure what that'll look like, and because we're not sure what everyone else will look like, but yeah, we're definitely confident in who we have coming in. But as far as expectations go, I've said it before, we just want to get better in year one. And so especially from the start to the finish, it'll be mostly freshmen coming in, and so throwing a bunch of freshmen out there on the court together is going to be a challenge, and putting in new systems at the college level and competing against college athletes is a new challenge for them. So really just getting better from the start to the finish. But yeah, we expect to compete. We're not going to just come in and have that mentality of, oh, we're a new program, who cares what happens. We expect to be competitive next year, and but at the same time know that it's a process, and these guys are going to be here for 4 years, so we have time to work with them.
Definitely. All right. Thanks so much for your time. Best of luck. I know it seems like week after week just recruiting and all of that, but and before we know it, it will be fall winter. Next winter is when you guys play, and we'll be experiencing a lot of men's volleyball wins. So best of luck as we move forward. Once again, Luke Bentley of the men's volleyball team here at William Penn. When we return, we will have Jason Neugebauer of the football team. You're in the locker room.
William Penn University provided the opportunities for me to widen my potential after graduation. I love being involved with the women's golf team and was able to focus my last few years on internships at the YMCA. With all the opportunities at Penn, I hope to one day be working in a stadium for a pro team or doing the business side of sports, which I love. The opportunities are real, your potential is unlimited. Discover your place at William Penn University.
You built a castle so that the prince and princess can live happily ever after. You brought the sunshine to shine upon the whole family's future. But when the sun hides behind the clouds, State Farm can help. We put the life back in life insurance to protect your family's finances, not only in the future, but today.
Call your State Farm agent Kelly Style in Oskaloosa today.
What if there was a program
where I could express my individuality,
Create my visions. Get the hands-on learning that I need.
a program where I could become something greater?
become something bigger?
Hello everyone, this is Tyler Van Welden from Malcolm Lumber in Grinnell, Montezuma, and Oskaloosa. Malcolm Lumber is your DIY headquarters and we would love to help you with any projects you want to tackle. Bring us your plans, let our staff help you. We will get you the right materials, the correct tools, and the support you need to make that project come out perfect. And now we have a full-time designer for that new kitchen and bath. Stop in and say hello at any of our 3 store locations or call to make an appointment.
Welcome back, Statesman Nation. We have a very special guest with us right now, the Student Body Government Association. It's a very long one. Student Government Association president, as well as he's a football player. He's a COSIDA Academic All-District player. Sophomore Jace Neugebauer from MacArthur, California. Appreciate you coming in for a little bit, Jace. Just so many accolades, and everybody's seeing it on the screen right now. But coming off a really solid football season as a linebacker for the football team. Let's get right into that, talking football. You guys had definitely a down year, a frustrating year, but a situation for learning. So just kind of recap the year a little bit and how you guys are building off of last year.
Right, yeah, the season wasn't obviously the best, 4-7 finish, and we expect bigger things of ourselves. I think there's a lot of expectations just set on us as players, and the coaches, I think, have bigger expectations for us too. I know using last year as momentum and trying to take what we've learned and what we experienced and take that into the new spring season has been huge for us. Obviously, implementing a lot of more strict rules and strict implications on the players. The players themselves doing a lot of soul searching, and the coaches too, I think has been a huge difference for me personally from my freshman to sophomore year. So we're just hoping that it picks up, and it really has. I mean, the team culture's tremendously changed, and I think guys have really changed the attitude on what they want to do and how we want to go about this next season. Yeah.
Kind of alluding to the leadership council that the coaches have implemented about a month ago now. You being one of those leaders, right. You guys have like 15 or so individuals, but you especially can lead in so many different ways, both on the field, but also as a student athlete. So we mentioned a COSIDA Academic All-District. A lot of people don't know what that means, but basically it's an award that combines both your academic and athletic achievements. So just talk about how important the academic side is here at William Penn for you.
Right. I think, the Leadership Council plays a huge role, like you said, not only on the field, but in the classroom as well. And there's 14 guys, 7 on offense and 7 on defense, and it's our job to be the leaders of the team and to call guys out when they need it and pick guys up when they need it as well. But I think the coaches are huge proponents of making sure that guys are first scholars before they are athletes, and that's the way it should be. I mean, education comes first. We're here to get a degree, and it's not like every one of us is going to go to the NFL or have an extension of our football careers. And so I think as of right now, there's a lot of focus on guys getting in the classroom, making sure that they're going to study groups, and that's huge for us as a leadership council to promote that.
Definitely. If anybody gets to juggle a lot of balls in the air, it's definitely you. Talk about also being that a very strong student athlete, but also having the responsibilities of SGA. How do you make it work, man? That's just a lot of stuff going on in your plate at one time.
Right. Yeah. That's it. It keeps me busy. I like the busy schedule because it keeps me out of trouble at the same time. But no, I enjoy being able to be involved in a lot of different things on campus. I think it builds a network not only for myself, but it's going to close or bring together relations across campus. And that's one thing that we're really harping on as a student government association, I think as a football program too, is to bring the culture of the university as one, because there's so much diversity, whether it's culturally, racially, or even in sports. And so that's one thing that we're really looking at changing through student government is trying to implement a change in our culture on campus.
Definitely noticed that on Saturday. The coach was making a big point of saying, "Football guys, we want you at this game. This is an important game, for the ladies to clinch the outright title." And the atmosphere in Penn Gymnasium was so much different. And I hate to put it all just to own it so much on one team, but football definitely makes a big difference, and that was evident on Saturday. Talk about real quickly some things you guys are doing in SGA that you're trying to implement and build and foster that culture.
Right. Yeah. No, I was talking to AD Nick Rule, and the atmosphere with the 20 guys in the gym was huge. And just imagine if we could get 120 guys on the same page. But no, with student government, we're making a lot of changes. I think we're definitely on the rise. We're very young, very ambitious, and we actually just moved a bill yesterday to expand our team to add 2 members. And so there's a lot of things that we're wanting to do. And like I said, I think our biggest focus right now is just enhancing the student experience, and we believe that's first with the cultural change on campus.
Definitely. Awesome. Well, it sounds like you have a lot on your plate, but a lot of fun stuff coming down the pipe. So best of luck with all of that. Once again, Jason Neugebauer, sophomore out of MacArthur, California. When we return, we will preview all of the upcoming games for William Penn. You're in the locker room.
William Penn University provided the opportunities for me to widen my potential after graduation. I loved being involved with the women's golf team and was able to focus my last few years on internships at the YMCA. With all the opportunities at Penn, I hope to one day be working in a stadium for a pro team or doing the business side of sports, which I love. The opportunities are real, your potential is unlimited. Discover your place at William Penn University.
You built a castle so that the prince and princess can live happily ever after. You brought the sunshine to shine upon the whole family's future. But when the sun hides behind the clouds, State Farm can help. We put the life back in life insurance to protect your family's finances, not only in the future, but today.
Call your State Farm agent Kelly Style in Oskaloosa today.
What if there was a program
where I could express my individuality,
Create my visions. Get the hands-on learning that I need.
a program where I could become something greater,
become something bigger?
Hello everyone, this is Tyler Van Welden from Malcolm Lumber in Grinnell, Montezuma, and Oskaloosa. Malcolm Lumber is your DIY headquarters, and we would love to help you with any projects you want to tackle. Bring us your plans, let our staff help you. We will get you the right materials, the correct tools, and the support you need to make that project come out perfect. And now we have a full-time designer for that new kitchen and bath. Stop in and say hello at any of our 3 store locations or call to make an appointment.
Welcome back, Statesman Nation. A busy week upcoming here for the Statesman on campus. We have a whole lot going on. We're going to get right to the graphics and show you what's going on. Baseball will be going east. Actually, it can't go south. It's too cold, but going east to Indiana for a few games, playing Indiana Southeast in a pair of games on Monday. Indiana Southeast just outside of the top 25. Then they'll also be playing Indiana Southeast again one more time on Tuesday and finishing out that trip to Indiana by playing Georgetown as well. The men's basketball team will be finishing up the regular season this week. Central Methodist will be on the docket on Wednesday night, looking for a season sweep against the Eagles, will be the men's basketball team. Then baseball getting back into action, actually starting the conference season this weekend, taking on Baker in a pair of games on Saturday. William Penn 8-1 on the year. Softball will also be traveling this week, starting its Florida trip, spring break trip on Sunday, taking on Northwestern Ohio, as well as Trinity International. A whole bunch of games coming down the pipe in Florida in the upcoming days. Then men's basketball will also be in action, finishing its regular season. Missouri Valley coming to town for Senior Day on Saturday. William Penn won on a buzzer beater in Marshall way back in November. And then the baseball team will conclude its weekend, another doubleheader staying down in Kansas, weather permitting, obviously, against Benedictine in a pair of heart contests in Atchison, Kansas. Also in action, the two biggest ones will be the women's basketball team beginning its postseason competition. The Heart of America Athletic Conference tournament will begin this week. Wednesday will be against a team to be determined at this point. Whatever comes out of the play-in game, whoever comes out of that will play William Penn on Wednesday in the quarterfinals. William Penn continues to win, will continue to be at home, possibly all the way through the championship game 2 Mondays from now. Also, the track and field team will be sending a handful of individuals up to South Dakota for nationals, indoor nationals. Kayla Music in the 60, Sage Arisman in the shot, Chris Leba in the 60, and in the high jump you'll have both Finn Alade and Tristan Elmore. So a handful of individuals looking for some All-American status, hopefully possibly all the way to being a national champion in the indoor season. So lots of things coming this week for William Penn, and hope that we get a lot of exciting things to talk about next week. So we'll have recaps of all of that and much more. And until next week, go Statesman.